Jai Bhim, Jai Mallivasi, Jai Bharat, Jai Samvidhan. Myself, Ulpesh Jadhav from MNT News Network. I welcome you all in this special session, which is conducting every Sunday. This is basically an English session for the English viewers. So the today's topic is a very hot topic currently. The topic is caste-based census and proportionate representation is the need of social justice. The speaker is Nivasi Justice V Eswaraiah, who was former Chairperson NCBC GOI, former Acting Chief Justice AP High Court Hyderabad, President AIBCF, and Convener Social Revolution Alliance. So let us welcome Mr. Justice V Eswaraiah on our MNT News Network.
Thank you. Thank you, brother Yadavji and all the viewers. And on the very hot subject you have invited me, I thank you first of all about this the most important subject. The caste census were conducted 7 times during the British India from 1981 and 1931, 7 times. 1941 could not be completed and published. Therefore, whatever the caste census were relied upon was only last caste census 1931. 1931, based on the 1931 census, then Sahu Maharaj gave 50% reservations in 1902. 1902, then thereafter 1928, Madras province gave communal reservations to the community wise, that is religious wise. Then that was declared illegal after the constitution came into force. Then after the benefit of the caste census is we can say that is a great achievement of 1902, because by 1881, 1991 already caste census are available. Based on it, Sahu Maharaj gave 50% reservations in 1902. And thereafter, Mandal, based on the same 1931 caste census, determined 52% estimated the social education backward classes. And there were some judgments not to cross 50% cap. Therefore, he has recommended only 27% for the social education backward classes. That was questioned in Indrasani case in 1992. The 9th judgment of the Supreme Court upheld the 27% reservations and set aside 10% reservations for the economically weaker sections provided by the PV Narasimha Rao, then Congress government. Then if you see 1989, DMK government, even before the Mandal commission was published, 1989 DMK government provided 50% reservations to the BCs, 18% reservations for the ACs, 1% reservations for the SCs, total 69% by a local act the Tamil Nadu government gave. Because 1992 Indrasani judgment came not to cross 50%, they have thought over, and within the four corners of the constitution they wanted to achieve it. There is a fundamental right, not only directive principles are the enforceable, but not only the fundamental rights are enforceable, but directive principles also can be brought into the as a fundamental rights. That's how there is an Article 31C. If any legislature, if any act passed under Article 31C, then it will have, if that act is given assent by the President of India for giving assent, that Union Cabinet has to accept and both the houses has to clear that act. Once both the houses clears, then President grants assent, gives assent. Then it will have a constitutional protection under Article 31B. 31B, if you read Article 31B, it's a very great protection is given, just like any other fundamental rights in Part 3. Therefore, though 9 judges have held 50% cannot be crossed, but after 2 years, Tamil Nadu government made an act and it was included in the ninth schedule after giving assent by the President of India. That's how they are enjoying today 69%. Therefore, every state can achieve the reservations 69%, similar to Tamil Nadu. That is an example and sample is there before us. Though there is a provision, unfortunately, the after 2011 caste census have been conducted. 2011 socio-economic caste census have been conducted, but unfortunately the data has not been published because the data was not completed. The government, the Congress government was lost power in 2014. 2014 BJP government came. Just then caste census were completed, but the BJP government was against the publication of the caste census on some rules or other. And there was no honesty, sincerity in the mind of the Congress also in conducting the socio-economic caste census, because there was no column which caste belong to, whether these as per the existing list of the central OBC list, whether except SC, ST, women and male and religious denomination, they have purposely avoided to include the social education backward class, whether this community belongs under the, otherwise it would have been revealed what is the population of the social education back OBCs in 2000 as per the 2011 caste census. But these Jairam, Ramesh, Chidambaram and Brahmanical persons within the Congress, they have prevailed over and they never wanted to have to reveal the population of the OBCs. So now if I request all the viewers to kindly read Article 31B. There is a constitutional protection if such an act is made by the, because Parliament is the supreme, Assembly, Legislative Assembly is the supreme. People are the supreme ultimately. Constitution is the supreme ultimately. So Constitution gives power to the people's representative to pass such an act and to get it included in the ninth schedule. Once it is ninth schedule, it is added, there is a constitutional protection. But every fundamental right can be questioned. Ninth schedule also can be questioned, but there is no single instance so far which has been interfered with the even Supreme Court of India, because they cannot ultimately, finally only they can interfere if it is against the basic structure or against the policy of the government itself, but such situation will not arise. Policy of the government is for the social justice, policy of the government is social, economic, political justice, and democracy. Every community shall have its share and representation in executive, judiciary, legislature, and economic in all fields. We are entitled our share. That is the reason why it is not that easy for the courts to interfere if such a legislation is made. Therefore, 50% cap is a rule, and it is a court-made law by the Savarnas, not by the SC, ST, backward classes, by the vested interested, because judiciary is filled by the forward community. And with regard to the judiciary, I would like to say that I have made a search of it. For Telangana, I have made a search of it. I have made a very detailed search. Every state has to make such a search. For example, in Telangana, I will say, in Telangana so far, 16 judges have been elevated to the Supreme Court from the combined state of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. But there is no one single backward class has been elevated to the Supreme Court. Can you think of, out of 16, there was no single BC was elevated to the Supreme Court. Then there were 45 chief justices from the undivided state of Andhra Pradesh, but only one chief justice was from Telangana out of 45. Then total judges were appointed in undivided state of Andhra Pradesh 253. Out of 253, only 43 judges are from backward classes. That means backward classes population is nearly about 55-60, but their representation is not even 10-15%. So that is the factual scenario. That is the case in the executive, judiciary, legislature, economic, media, press, industry, everywhere. So this is the glaringly reflecting. When the constitution was used to be prepared, I have read last time, when Nagappa from the Madras General Assembly, he said, Constitution should have provided for giving a share, particular community will have its share according to its population. That was the argument before the Constitutional Assembly. Whether I am innocent or dumb or uneducated or ignorant, but still I want my due share. So that was a pleading by our forefathers before the Constituent Assembly also. But Constituent Assembly, but a little bit was given in the Constitution, that is social, economic, political justice, equality, liberty, fraternity, and a democracy. What is a democracy? A socialist, secular, democratic republic constituted India into and to give all its citizens social, economic, political justice. What is that we have given so far? Constitution. This is not the constitution they wanted. The Savarnas, the RSS, the Chaturvarna philosophers, they never wanted this kind of constitution. Therefore, they have been misinterpreting and not implementing by hook or crook. So that is the reason why, if you see the reservation, there is no. Yes, after Indrasani judgment in 1992, the Tamil Nadu enacted a legislation, that is Tamil Nadu Backward Classes Reservations Act 1994, that was sent for the assent of the President of India, and both the Parliament and Union Cabinet has cleared that cleared for the assent of the President of India and placed before both the houses. Both the houses have cleared that act, and that act was included in the 9th schedule. Therefore, 9th schedule, AIBCF 31B के अंदर एक constitutional protection है. Just I will read. None of the acts and regulations specified in the 9th schedule, nor any of the provisions thereof, shall be deemed to be void or ever to have become void, on the ground that such act, regulation, or provision is inconsistent with or takes away, abridges any of the right conferred by any provisions of the Fundamental Rights Part 3, and notwithstanding any judgment, decree, or order of any court or tribunal to contrary. ऐसा एक एक्ट बने तो कोई भी कोर्ट, कोई भी जजमेंट्स को ओवररूल करने का पावर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में स्टेट असेंबलीज को है. ऐसा तमिलनाडु ने करा 31C के अंदर. वैसा पार्ट 4 में जितने भी डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल्स है, वो डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल्स भी फंडामेंटल राइट्स के अंदर ला सकते हैं. कोई भी क्वेश्चन नहीं कर सकता है. नोबडी कैन क्वेश्चन ऑन द ग्राउंड दैट इज अगेंस्ट आर्टिकल 14 or 19, or our rights have been taken away, or our share has been diminished. So no grounds are available to any of the Savarnas, anybody, if such an act is passed. You know, 1992, there was a constitutional, the insertion of the reservations in the local bodies. That is Article 243D6 in the local bodies, that is Gram Panchayats, Mandals, and Jilla Parishad. 243T6 in the municipalities, municipal corporations. But scheduled castes, scheduled tribes have been provided reservations proportional to their population. But the state government were empowered to make an enactment to provide adequate representation. When states have amended the Panchayat Raj Act providing 34% reservations in the AP, Karnataka, and other states, Supreme Court in the Krishnamurthy versus Union of India in 2010, they have applied Indrasani case and stated that no, in the local bodies also you cannot increase 50% total reservations, SCs, STs, OBCs put together. Therefore, local bodies, now the PR government conducted the caste census and they have enacted a law, but they never enacted a law under Article 31C, but only local act has been made but that act has been set aside by the BR High Court on the ground that its 50% cap is exceeded. It is contrary to the Supreme Court judgments. Against that, the BR government filed a civil appeal, and All India Backward Class Federation also filed a civil appeal. It is pending. But now that our plea is, Nitish Kumar also is not sincere, is not honest, and in favor of the backward classes. He should have made such an act under Article 31C, similar to that of the Tamil Nadu Reservations Act, and he should have influenced the BJP government because of his support only BJP government is ruling. So he could have included in the 9th schedule. Therefore, what made him to not to include in the 9th schedule is a questionable conduct of Nitish Kumar ji. Even now, we can make a legislation under Article 31C and get it included under under the 9th schedule, so that courts that he can withdraw the SLP filed before the Supreme Court, and nobody can question that act. That is in all over India. Only the constitutional remedy available till as and today is to get it included in the 9th schedule and get the constitutional protection and fundamental right of the people. Even now that socio-economic caste census have not been published, Karnataka conducted a caste survey and they have not published. Bihar conducted the caste survey, they have published. Telangana government, it is very unfortunate to say that Telangana government conducted the socio-economic political caste survey without making any act, because all of you know that under the constitution, after the National Commission backward classes given a constitution status under Article 338, now 338B was included in 2018, giving constitutional status similar to SC/ST/BC, and the definition of the backward classes also has been defined in Article 366(26)(C). Social education backward classes means such backward classes as are deemed under Article 342A for the purpose of central government or the state government, union territory, as the case may be. What Article 342A says, Article 3, there are two lists. SCs, STs, for each state, same only. For the central purposes, state purposes, there will be only one list. But the backward class, because SCs, STs are scheduled from 1935 onwards. But insofar as the backward classes are concerned, only after Mandal. And that is the reason why state backward classes list is separate from the central backward class for each state. So 342A2 says the list maintained by the central government is for the purpose of the central government public sector undertaking, central government employment, central government education institutions. And the 342A3 has been included in 2021. States also are empowered. I will read the 243A3. Every state or union may by law prepare and maintain. They can enact a law, prepare and maintain for its own purposes a list of socially and educationally backward classes, entries in which may be different from the central list. So state government employment को state government education institutions को state भी एक act, they can make an act and they can prepare a list and make use of its purposes. But none of the state government have made an act scientifically conducted. The social educational backward classes entries are not maintained by the state, because states are not ruled by the backward classes. For example, in Telangana, Revanth Reddy, the chief minister, the Rahul Gandhi is saying, जिनकी जितना संख्या बारी उनकी उतने हिस्सादारी. मैंने मेरा मकसद यह है पूरा जो पॉलिटिकल, इकोनॉमिक, एजुकेशन, एम्प्लॉयमेंट, जुडिशरी, हर चीज में जितने जितने आबादी है उसका हिस्सादारी देने का मेरा मकसद है. मगर इज ओन रूल्ड तेलंगाना, Telangana is horrible. He is absolutely here. He is acting against the social justice. For example, 75 nominated posts were appointed. Out of 75, Revanth Reddy government, he doesn't have any care and he doesn't hear to Rahul Gandhi also. He appointed 53 Reddys and forward classes, only 22 SCs, SCs, OBs out of 75. So what kind of the social justice Telangana, the Congress ruled state is doing here? And why Karnataka is not publishing the caste census? Because the Shivakumar and the forward classes are prevailing over not to conduct and not to share the share. Therefore, whether this Rahul Gandhi or anybody, but anyway, all credit goes for sudden decision of the BJP, because people have erosion, people जाग गया, and इतनी ये प्रबल हो गया है caste to conduct the caste census, that became number one demand by all the people of India. Therefore, these seminars and this sensitization, this educating, enlightenment. So people also came to know, because the last elections also BJP got a setback and they could not reach their target. If next elections comes, they will lose the power. Instead of losing the power in the hands of opposition and regional parties, so they wanted to give part the oligarchy, their dominance, and they would like to share something in favor of the backward classes. And because this, if not today and tomorrow they will be very precarious condition if the opposition party comes and conduct the caste census. Therefore, there was a deep discussion in the RSS, Vishwa Hindu Parishad, BJP, and they have mentally decided we have to convince ourselves, then give their due share. Otherwise, we will not be protected, we will not remain in power. Therefore, there was a strong sentiment is spreading all over India. So they have taken this decision. The decision, we have to hail this decision, whatever circumstances, in whatever contingencies they have taken, but we have hailed it because it is not unlike the caste survey, it is not unlike the socio-economic caste census conducted in 2011, but it is a caste census come a general census. General census के साथ, that means 1948 Census Act along with 342 of the Constitution of India. Maybe Census Act they have to amend now, because only Census Act doesn't provide to conduct the caste census except these religious denomination, male and female, SC, ST only. Now they have to include the backward classes also. So once this a comprehensive caste survey is conducted, it will be known who are the denotified tribes, who are the nomadic, semi-nomadic tribes, what is their social, educational, economic, political representation in the judiciary and in all walks of life. Therefore, there will be a demand from these classes to give our share. This demand cannot be suppressed by anybody, and they have been suppressing from last 75 years, and now time has come to convince themselves, because at the cost of their own future, therefore it is a welcoming thing. Nobody can, only they can delay some period, but even after conducting the caste census along with the general census, I think they will have to complete within, already they have delayed 2021 census have been postponed, and they have delayed by within 1.5 years they have to complete it. And you see, merely because the socio-economic these caste census have been conducted, automatically they will not be included in the central OBC list. there is a most complicated issue, the social issues are concerned. There is no dispute with regard to the SCs, STs are concerned. Backward classes are concerned. Central OBC list for every state is different, and state OBC list is different. When I was chairperson National Commission for Backward Classes, and prior to me, MN Rao was there, Ratnavel Pandian was there, and that several others are there. Only 1600 castes were there. So by the time, as and today, nearly about 1000 castes have been included. That is, as and today, 2650 caste communities are there in the central OBC list all over the India. And one has to clearly observe that 2650 castes are not different, because he is called, suppose Dhobi, Barber, Potter, Fisherman, Washerman, he is called different names in the different states. So therefore, all states to put together similar occupations may come not even more than 300 or 200, more than 300. Because they are called in different names, but each state caste is counted. This is 2650. But states have been included some more caste for political reasons. For example, Jats are not there except in Rajasthan, and except in Jodhpur, Bhagalpur of Rajasthan. So Jats are not there in the central OBC list. That credit has to go to me, because I have rejected the request of the government of India and the Jats to include in the central OBC list. But states have been included, though the Jats are not socially, educationally backward classes. In the 9 state list, they have been included. So that community, so like that, several states have included. Even the advanced communities are also in the state list. That list is 3650. That means 1001 more castes are there in the state list. That there is a difference between the central list and state list. So there will be fight by these advanced communities to include in the central OBC list also. That is a different that we have to tackle. Backward classes have to prevent, like SCs prevents from inclusion of undeserving caste communities in the STs or STs. And that kind of the enlightenment should also come among the backward classes to prevent the undeserving castes. Therefore, there should be a scientific method. There should be a total, the social, economic, political, education, whether he is a daily wage worker, he is houseless, or whether he is a nominal master worker, whatever it may be, you divide, you provide 100 marks. 100 marks, suppose you wanted to recognize them, the most backward classes. Whoever most less fortunate, you draw a line is the most backward classes, then more backward classes, then backward classes. Like that, 3, 4, 5 categories can be made, and some kind of the justice can be done for the backward classes, depending upon their population and their entitlement and their entitlement. Therefore, this is this kind of now we have to overcome 2 things. One is 50% cap has to be overcome, merely because the government of India decided to conduct the caste census along the general census. Let us not be under the false impression that the BJP is going to distribute the booty in the hands of the upper classes. We have to grab by political power only. We have to unite SCs, STs, the most backward classes have to unite, and we have to get the political power. Then only then only we are entitled the proportionate representation in proportion to our population. Otherwise, BJP is not going to give that easily. This is only a political stunt to win the next elections. They will drag the matter. They will postpone the giving the benefits in favor of the backward classes. We have seen the intention of the BJP, the way in which they have been privatizing all the educations, class 4, class 3, and lateral entry, and introducing the EWS 10% reservations without any inquiry, and strictly implementing the creamy layer, and these backward classes have been pushed towards the bottom of the society. And this is not, I don't think this is totally, they have transformed, they have realized, they have reconciled just to retain the political power. And similarly, the Rahul Gandhi has no power, and he has no that dominance, and he should, when I met the Rahul Gandhi, I said, first you democratize your party. You appoint the SCs, STs, OBC in your party structure. Your party is dominated by Brahmins, Banyas, Kshatriya only. And where are our backward classes? These are, even every regional political party also like that. Even it's a glaring example how the Congress cannot do it, because within the party decision, they only dominate every issue. If, for example, K.C. Venugopal is everything. He is hand, mouth, head, tail, everything of Rahul Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi doesn't have any independent, any power or any control over his own party and his own ruled states of Telangana and the Karnataka. Therefore, we will welcome this issue, but to get the proportionate representation is in the hands of we the Mullimasis, we the SC, ST backward classes, we the majority sections of the society of India. Therefore, we should not trust, we should not be, our organizations, so many organizations shall not align with any of the political party, but we should maintain our independence, our neutrality, and our sensitizing this issue shall be continued forever. Thank you. For any questions you would like to ask, I will answer this.
Okay, you have well defined the intention of the ruling party as well as opposition. You have very much described about this, why the caste census is important to give the proportionate representations to the backward classes. But the current ruling party BJP has denied it till now, and it is not. We assume that by doing the caste census, they will do the representation and give the social justice to the backward classes. So it is just like in 2011 also, UPA government did the caste census, but didn't publish that data and didn't do anything for the socially and educationally backward classes. Even this present government has that data, but they even don't care about the same. Even in EWS, they have not given any representation to the backward classes, and just for few castes they have given the representation 10%. That is a very huge amount. So just give us some brief about this today's session, that caste-based census and proportional representation is the real need of social justice. Sir, what?
Sir, in a democratic country, it's a democratic country. Reservations are not a gratis or a donation or a favor in favor of the less fortunate people. It is a share. It is a representation. It is their right. But as you know, in a joint family property, whether he is deaf or dumb or educated or uneducated, everybody will have his share. Father distributes equally entire property of the joint family property. India belongs to all of us. India doesn't belong to a few caste communities. Therefore, those rulers, those jagirdars, those zamindars, those samsthanas have gone, because we are the persons who are electing the netas. Therefore, why should we give power who are not our friends? who are not our well-wishers, who are not our this thing. Therefore, we cannot expect somebody to give a proportionate representation, but we should grab and we should get it. And as at least a first step, we have achieved the decision of conducting the caste census along with the general census. Let it be completed, but we should be relentlessly fight for to achieve our proportionate representation. Not because I will say one thing: the the political power is a biggest business in India. How these people have become the rich today, how these people are dominating and grabbed every walk of life today, because a lot of money is involved in the political power, so they have become rich. Therefore, once we SCs, STs, backward classes get the political power, they become rich and they will dominate the society and they can achieve. They can really achieve. Really, India will develop if all caste communities develops. India will not develop if this poverty is there, this discrimination is there, this kind of the religious discrimination is there. Otherwise, it will lead to a civil war, it will lead to unrest, chaos, and even there will be a civil war between the religious denominations, between the poor and rich, between the haves and have-nots. Therefore, to lead a peaceful life, a developed nation, a developed country, a democratic country, India needs the distribution of the power among all the people. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Jai Bhim, Jai Mulnivasi, Jai Bharat, Jai Samvidhan, sir. Thank you for your time, sir.